Why not be a member of our studio audience? For complimentary tickets, call us at 212-840-1700.
We've been talking to Mr. Ken Hamblin and about his views, and you wanted to respond to what was said a little earlier, right before we went to break.
Thank you, Montel. You know, the gray hairs in my mustache can't be picked up at Kmart. It comes from living. At 17, when I left Bedford-Stuyvesant to go into the Army, there were signs that said colored and white. I think white people had a lot of soul-searching to do and brought those signs down. There was a housewife from Michigan. Her name was Viola Liuzzo. She was a white Italian-American. She died in Montgomery, Alabama, with a bullet in the head. There were 3 other Americans, 2 of which were white, 1 was black: Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman. There are a lot of good white people that went out there to bring this country to a better station, and I've had it with the nice, concerned, passionate young white liberal bleeding. Remember my question: what did the liberals say before, the white liberals say before he crossed the road? Why, everybody ought to own an African American. Nurture them, feed them, walk them, pat them on their heads, forgive them for their sins, because they're just such simple, fun-loving people that you just shouldn't hold them accountable for what they do. Well, that's killing us, ladies and gentlemen. Killing us slowly.
Okay, yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Lewis, and Mr. Hamlin, I just want to address you because I can see here that you stand strongly behind your values, but in my eyes, you have a warped sense of values. You say that you want the young black youth, and okay, I say Hispanic also, because you're saying that we need to be taught how to be responsible for our own actions, okay? And you're saying that you want to be the one to teach that in a sense.
No, you never said that.
Okay, well, no.
Okay, well,
what's your
I
question?
am not going to be your caseworker. You're going to take responsibility. When you make love to your girlfriend, you are going to have to determine to what degree that responsibility goes. You're going to have to work it out together. And when you have too many babies, regardless of whether this man or this man approves of it, I'm going to lobby to be sure that we either cut you off welfare if you can't take care of yourself, or put Norplant in her arm.
Montel. And that's the bottom line. Okay, all right, yes, sir. All right.
My name is Kim, and I'm sure you've been groomed during your grooming that if you're not a part of the solution, you are a part of the problem. I could put on your hat and your glasses and sit there and make criticisms too. I haven't heard you say anything.
I know.
Can I complete this?
I know.
Can I
Marion Barry comes with a kente cloth, and he comes with a kufi. He wants to knock my hat. But you know what? There are no videotapes of me smoking crack. There are no videotapes of me being a poor leader in a community where the guard is on the street, brother. You don't have to like it, it's there.
The point that I'm trying to make, if I'm allowed to do this, is this. You have one of the most powerful forums to change and formulate minds. You sit there and you say you've made this of yourself, you made that of yourself, but you haven't said anything in the sense of making that of someone else.
Okay, all right, so he's saying but Ken, but his point is, Ken, his point is very clear. You're saying a lot of things about what's wrong. What is right? How can you tell somebody how to do something right? Before you answer, let me introduce somebody else. Mr. Ramon Smith is joining us also right now. He's a college student here in New Jersey. Ramon, you've been listening to this. I'm going to let Ken make that point about what's right, then I want you to jump in and tell me what you've thought about what he said so far. They want answers, not just...
Outside, I challenge the poor black education in the black community and Hispanic community. I challenge white liberals like this young man who tell us we can't make it, because I can name 3 places that give you a 4-year college course where the freshman year is designed to kick you out. West Point on the Hudson, the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, and Annapolis, where this man is a graduate. It is designed to break you. Men, black men, and black women and white women come out of those places every year with no special preference. If we can come out of West Point, we can get out of PS3. And that's it. And I don't care how you cut it, whether you like it or not. Our failure is on our back, and he can't help us with his love, and the rage he's about to share isn't going to help you. There are no free rides in the world. There are no free rides.
Well, if I may address it, no one's looking for a free ride. First of all, let's understand that this gentleman is a black capitalist. And as you know, that capitalism is a very funny social structure that keeps an oppressive political hold on people, and in particular, in this case, African people. As the brother pointed out earlier, when the question was addressed, this is what you call a house Negro. And a house Negro is something that he's just the recipient of bigger crumbs from his master's capitalistic table. See, this man is not, I'm speaking for myself. I'm an African revolutionary. I'm an African liberationist.
Pick a country.
And I can pick a country. But the issue is, my mission is to liberate African people in the diaspora. And if he's not part of our mission, then he's part of our problem. Therefore, he's not included in our mission.
Okay, well, you know, I got to ask you a question, Ramon, about this. When the mission's in place, do you intend to liberate black people here within America and demand an area of your own so that you can pull outside of the entire system of America and go somewhere else and live?
Welfare,
I want to ask the question, Ramon. What is it when you say what you're doing, what is it that you want?
First, this gentleman does not understand African people. That's for one thing.
Okay, but what is it
But to address that, it doesn't matter where we liberate ourselves or what particular geographical area we occupy, whether it's on this continent, whether it's on the mother continent. But we have the resources, we have the individuals. In spite of what this person is saying, we have intelligent African people that are pilots, that are engineers, that are scientists, that are architects. We have people that we can build a nation.
See, this is what they're talking about in school. Instead of learning trigonometry and math, instead of learning medicine, instead of learning the things necessary, instead of forming the Black Cross, you got the Red Cross, you got the Red Crescent. But when the earthquake came in California, it was the same old white system that they're bitching about. The Red Cross and the Salvation Army, okay? Stop.
But I mean, wait. We're kind of, this is apples and oranges. I got to get an answer to the question, and the question is really, so what you're saying is that the liberation is from within, and no matter where you live, you want to liberate all black people, take them to a separate place, have its own economy, have its own structure by itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
What we're seeking is autonomy. Okay. Every other ethnic group in this country has autonomy.
Then why all the Haitians trying to get into America? Why all the Mexicans coming from the Southwest?
Because white supremacy has a stronghold on every Caribbean country, on the continent from head to toe, and they are controlling it, they're running it into the ground, and they make it seem like the country, that our country is not for ourselves.
That is wonderful, and as long as you keep that rap, I don't ever have to take any responsibility for that pile.
Well,
I don't
no
ever
one's
have
asking
to do
you to. No one even invited you to be a part of our mission.
But I'm asking you to take responsibility.
No, our responsibility is taken. My responsibility has been taken to educate myself. People, I pay homage to my ancestors who've died before me so I can be in a position where I can be educated, and I owe them to bring liberation to my African people.
Okay.
And if you don't want to be a part of that, we don't need you.
Jargon.
If you don't want to be a part of it, that's fine.
Well, what are you doing about black folks blasting each other with knives and strapping against each other?
I would take my chance and go to Bedford-Stuyvesant and help my brothers in the community.
Tell him that. Tell him that.
Stop there for a second. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I don't think it's a secret at all that black people, we are in a crisis right now, and we do need to come together. We do need to take responsibility for ourselves. But I have a big problem with you sitting up there. You keep giving these statements that are not all true. It bothers me because a lot of white people will feed into what you're saying and take it just as general as the statements that you're making. I also want to say one more thing, okay? I really feel that the two of you need to meet somewhere in the middle, okay? Black people will not make it all on their own. We do need to work with each other, but
let me respond to you here.
I got to take. I'm let you respond. I'll let you respond when we take a break because we're running over with the step. I'll be back in a second. We've been talking to Mr. Ken Hamblin, and you wanted to respond to what the lady said before we went to break.
Let me say this. If it sounds as though I'm running black people down, I want to apologize directly to you because your question was presented to me without hostility. Let me make it clear, and hopefully the others will hear it. It has been my experience since leaving the place that we call ghettos, that most black people, two-thirds...
came into existence?
Let me answer that. Because of white people. Come on, leave me alone. Listen,
no, it's because of capitalism.
Two-thirds of black people are healthy in this country. 50% of the criminals that we talk about come from that 20%. Across this country, black families are healthy and doing well. It was one of the biggest shocks that I saw. In Summit County, Colorado, where I live, my representative is a lieutenant colonel, retired, black. His daughter is single. She's not pregnant. They're healthy. all across America, when you get out of the place that this young man and this young man tells you is our only legacy, I don't want that to happen to your son and your daughter.
Montel.
Okay, all right, hold on. Yes, go ahead. Respond to that.
Ken keeps telling me what it is I'm telling you, and I've only had about 20 seconds. I don't know what in the hell I said.
Words
so angry.
mean things.
Well, first of all,
words mean things.
It has been implied that I'm acting out of white liberal guilt. This man doesn't know me. First of all, I'm not acting out of guilt. I'm acting out of anger. It pisses me off when I see the National Opinion Research Center poll that says between half and two-thirds of all white people think that blacks are lazier, less intelligent, more prone to crime, and only want to live on welfare.
You are one in very few people in this country to get angry about that when you see those statistics.
What I'm saying is that not enough white people get angry about it. I want, he wants blacks to take responsibility for their actions. I want to know who is going to take responsibility for the fact that blacks that earn over $50,000 a year are rejected for home mortgage loans at the same rate as whites earning $25,000 a year. I want to know. He can't take responsibility.
Stop
Who's going to take? Well,
get out of here. You know what?
Go?
When you go to the bank to buy money, you're making an investment in a neighborhood and a community. And the bank is making an investment in you and that property. And when you put that house in a place that's likely to burn it down every 15 or 20 years because we get angry at Whitey and burn our neighborhoods down, that's a damn good reason not to be able to get a mortgage in 5 points.
How many black people earning $50,000 a year burn their homes down, Ken?
You know something?
I'm talking about upper middle class blacks that are.
Do you know that the average mean middle class income for black people in Washington, D.C. exceeds the average income for white people across America, but yet it pays to continually present the image, not because of white racism. Let's assume there is white racism. That means if there's white racism, white people don't like me without knowing me because of the color of my skin. What do? I get on with my life or I blow my brains out. These guys are on the floor. Oh, God, I'm black, I'm black. I can have a sex change operation and I'll come out of it as a black woman. I can change the color of my eyes. I'm going to stay black. I can't change that. What in the hell do they want us to do? You're going to be black if you're black. And that's it. Make lemonade. And you're a pretty black woman, by the way.
All right, hold on. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Gus.
Jesus.
I like to say something to you about, you said that black people, that they cannot, that you will not help them. They have to help themselves.
You got to meet me halfway.
But check this out. Hold up, my brother. Hold up.
Let me make your point.
See, I grew up in the projects, right? And there's a lot of black and Hispanic people who have no fathers and are growing up with just one mother. How are those black and Hispanic children going to grow up without a role model? You sitting in that seat right there, and you're saying you will not help them. You just talk the talk, my brother, and that's not right.
Well, you know what? Wait, hold on a minute. Well, before you respond to that, Ken, wait a minute. Before you respond, before you say anything, I can tell you something. I have said it, and I'll say it over and over again. I am tired of hearing people say that black kids need role models. I'm sick of this. I really am sick of it. And I'll tell you why I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this because all of a sudden it's as if only we need a role model. We need somebody to be an example that someone else holds up for us and calls them that. I got to tell you something. We don't need role models. What we need is people that can look in a mirror, know that they have a future. When they look in that mirror, then they need to find someone to help them reach it. That's not a role model. That's a mentor, and we have none of those.
Montel,
respond to that.
Go ahead, respond to that.
But to respond to that, what we need to do, it's true we may need some role models. We need figures in our community the people that are in the community that are feeling the oppression to look upon and say that I can aspire to that. But
that's a hero.
Okay, well, you define it as a hero.
It's two different things.
Sociology, I'm a sociology major. We define it as a role model.
This role model just came up a couple years ago. There is no role model.
There's still a variable that is needed because what we're trying to do, like I said, is empower our community. That's all we want to do. And by empowering our community, one of the necessary variables we need is to bring in those people that we need.
You want to empower your community, make it safe.
We make it safe. You have not been in the community to see what has been going on. You have not witnessed the beautiful thing that the minister has done in Harlem.
I have music going. I got to take a break. I'll let you finish when we come back. We'll be back right after this.
Are you upset because your son married a fat woman? If so, call Montel's answering machine at 1-800-MONTEL-2.
Talking to Mr. Ken Hamblin, and you had a question or a comment.
Yeah, I have a comment. I am just really tired of people telling us and telling black people what we need, that we need role models. I grew up with a single mother in a black neighborhood, and I don't feel we need role models. we need to stop looking for role models. As long as we waste time looking for someone to save us, we are not going to do anything. You cannot get ahead by living 400 years in the past. Slavery happened, it's a fact, but you're black, you are going to stay black, and we need to move on.
Psychological impact.
We need to move on. It's not about blaming people. White people want us to blame people. They want us to get emotional over these things.
Save your children.
We need to think of practical solutions. We need to look into businesses and things like that. That's what this country is run on, big business. It's not about ruling your head with your emotions.
Save your babies. You get out of those ghettos. You are on the right track. You get away from those places.
I'm out of a ghetto.
But I'm saying that's the philosophy.
That whether you're in a ghetto geographically or not, wherever you are physically is not the point.
If you're blaming somebody else,
if you're blaming somebody,
still in the ghetto, no matter where you are.
Still in the ghetto. That's where it is.
Nobody's blaming anybody. Nobody's making a convenient scapegoat
I don't understand English here anymore.
What the issue is we are identifying what our oppressive conditions are and devising a plan to overstep those boundaries.
Okay, and Tim?
Yeah, the thing that bothers me, I guess, most about what Ken is saying is that the presupposition seems to be that if folks bleeding heart white liberals like me, or whatever it is Ken might think that I am, if we go out and tell people, first of all, black folks don't need white folks to tell them about racism, okay? That's completely paternalistic and insulting for Ken to imply that somehow if I don't tell black folks there's discrimination, they won't know it on their own.
That was his whole presentation
No, it's
when
not.
he came
No,
out.
it's not. I don't have to tell. I speak primarily to young white children to explain the situation to them. But what concerns me is the idea that somehow if you tell folks that racism's out there and discrimination's out there, that will cripple them, makes no sense to me. It's like if you're running down a dark alley, there are no lights. If I tell you there's a brick wall in the middle that you need to scale or go around, I'm not making you crippled. I'm not making you doubt yourself. I'm simply telling you the truth and saying, now, let's figure out how to get over the wall and let's figure out how to knock it the hell down. Okay. That's what this is about.
But you know what? Hold on, Ken. I'm gonna throw something out here.
David Duke didn't get elected. That's the fly in his ointment.
No thanks to you.
Okay, but hold on.
David Duke has a right to be a racist.
Of course he does.
David Duke had a right to run, and the people of Louisiana rejected him. This guy comes in here reinforcing every bit of, oh my God, I'm black and what am I going to do nonsense, and that's crippling. That's more than telling you there's a wall there. That's reinforcing you ain't got a chance because you're black and your hair is nappy and your lips are thick and your nose is broad.
Well, let me ask you.
Wait, I got a thought of premise.
That's killing us.
Why is it that in America today, which is such a trip to me, first off, America hates when anybody says that they are racist or there is a racism problem in America. No one wants to say it at all. No one wants to talk about it. It's as if we don't want to say that it exists. But then it's even worse. I was told once by a Aryan kind of a guy that he's more afraid of you, Ken Hamlin, than anybody and any Louis Farrakhan and anyone else.
You bet.
Now, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because he said that as long as people present a hateful manner towards white people and they say it openly, they know who they are. It's this guy here that they're worried about because he will eventually start getting through. People may start thinking that they should start to lift themselves up, do things on their own. And then they're worried about him because they don't want blacks to be successful. What do you think?
Well, to be quite frank, that's how I feel about this gentleman right here.
You're more worried about him?
Yeah. He is really insignificant in our movement. I mean, he really doesn't...
Ken is?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, he's not really a part of... His objectives are different.
Oh, and I'm agreeing with you. But it's different from you. But what I'm saying is that someone Aryan told me that they're more worried about him than you.
I understand that. But you know, I'm just saying, to change the scenario, that's how I feel about this person.
But you see what's interesting? He thinks I'm the problem. He doesn't trust him, and I don't care about either of them. I'm concerned with this woman and this woman and this man and that man too. I'm concerned with you saving your babies. I don't care about any jargon, what any minister says. Something's terrible wrong when you live in a community where your child comes home in a body bag.
You know what else is wrong? Something else is wrong. Something is wrong when we live in a community. Something is wrong when we live in a community where we can't save all the black children in Bed-Stuy, but we can save every SNL bandit in the country, where we can save defense contractors that rip the taxpayers off at 20 times the rate that any welfare recipient does.
This is unbelievable.
It sure as hell is, Ken.
All right, okay, let me get this lady's point. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And they're afraid of your intelligence. As long as we're ignorant, we're okay with them. But in comment to what you had to say, education is liberation, and you never know unless you go. And my problem with you, it's not a big problem, but I think you can go back. You don't necessarily have to be a role model, but show them the way out. Let them know that you don't have to sit here and waddle in this filth.
Is that what you're trying to do by coming on the air?
Let me try and clean up what portion of a problem you have with me. I don't believe that I can give you anything. You have to want it. There must be vested interest in that thing. And that's what I mean. I've been accused very often of being too abrupt. And that's what I mean when I tell you that I'll meet you halfway. You've got to show me. We've got to conduct our own triage. We've got to say, I'm sorry, it's not a matter of this black man being a brain surgeon because he's black or not. He may not be able to make the cut. It's hard work. This man went through the academy and came out as a naval officer. I might not have been able to cut it. Meet me halfway. Show me that you can do it, and I'll be there.
Okay, hold on a minute. Man, if I don't have a microphone, you can't be heard, and I got to take a break. So I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back right after this.
For transcripts, send $5 to The Montel Williams Show, care of Journal Graphics, 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203, or call 303-831-9000. For video cassettes, call 1-800-FOR-VIDEO. Major credit cards accepted. Please indicate show date and topic.
We have been talking to Mr. Ken Hamblin for an hour, and also with Tim, and also with Ramon, and I'm going to tell you something. In this hour, one thing that stands out to me is that I don't know if anybody's gotten an opportunity to hear any of the messages, but they've heard a lot of words. And I say it only this way. Sometimes, Ken, I think maybe what the problem is with you is that maybe the people don't listen to what you're saying because they sense so much anger coming from you when you say it. I'm not sure if that's true. For Ramon, when anybody says we need to separate, people shut off and don't listen. If we want to come to a point in America where people are going to listen to each other, that's what we need to do, is stop and listen. I think every voice on that stage needs to be heard. Really needs to be heard. I'm sorry I only had an hour to try to get you heard in, but I think these are conversations that should go on over and over and over again until everybody's represented. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree. I think we have to make choices.
All right. Would you agree or disagree?
I disagree because I think some people need a serious lesson in American history and capitalism and the variable of racism and how it played a part. Diametrically, we cannot have that unification.
So you can't even have a conversation?
Because it's locked in the fiber. We need to listen, but at the same time...
No, what I said was, the question was not whether or not you need to bring them in. Would you want to have that conversation?
Depending on how good it would do. It does, to me, it may not do that much good.
Do much good. How about you, sir?
I would love to have that conversation.
All right, well, maybe we may have the conversation again, because I'm going to tell you something. I know what's going to happen. You guys are going to be ringing my phone off the hook and saying, I want to know what else was... So join us again on the next Montel Williams Show, and you might see Ken. We'll be back